Well, good morning, friends. Welcome back. It is Friday, December 9th, and as you can see, it's a little snowy. I got
Three, two, one, go!
I got out and ran just before. It started while I was running, but before it really gets going. We're supposed to get 2 to 4 inches of snow, so got to get the head in before it gets slippery. Just a 5K. Technically, it was supposed to be yesterday. Flip some things around. So today, run nothing. Tomorrow, today's technically rest day, and then 12 to 13 Sunday. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then I believe next week is the big simulation. I think it's roughly 2.5, which I'll probably do 3, 5, 10, and 20 miles. So we'll see. Hopefully this weather doesn't hinder things too much. But I really need to get to work. I have all the pieces for the costumes. They're just not put together. So I need to work on that. But otherwise, I think that's going to do it for today. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Well, good morning, friends. Welcome back. It is Sunday, December 11th. And just got done with 12 miles. So yeah, that's good. Nothing really to complain about. It's actually pretty decent weather. All things considered, about close to 40 degrees. So that's pretty dang good for right now. So can't complain. Otherwise, not a whole lot else going on. This next week is a big simulation week. So prepping for that. But otherwise, I think that's going to do it for today. We'll check in with you and gear up for that big simulation next week. So we'll see you then. Well, good morning, friends. Welcome back. Happy Thursday, December 15th. There ain't a whole lot left of time in this year, and until Marathon Weekend, we are officially 19 days away from me leaving, 20 days away from Expo Day, and 21 days away from the 5K. So, it's getting here. It's getting close. I am just done with a 3-mile run, embarking on my simulation weekend before, taper time. So today, 3 miles, tomorrow 5, Saturday 10, and Sunday, hopefully 20. The weather is kind of sketchy this weekend, so it rained all last night. It was supposed to turn to snow, but it never really did. So there's that. It's supposed to snow a little bit tonight, and then this weekend is supposed to be quite cold. So it's going to be interesting to see how things end up. But either way, 1 day done, 3 to go. And I'll be doing the same sort of thing in 3 weeks. But yeah, costume work is well underway. Some of them are pretty simple, or in terms of I don't have a lot of work to do, a lot of store-bought pieces put together. But one is kind of involved that's still working on. So either way, it's fun. But I think that is going to do it for today. We'll check in with you tomorrow after 5 miles. Hopefully. We'll see. Things always happen. Well, welcome back, friends. Happy Friday, December 16th. And as you can see, it's snowing outside. Thankfully, not too slippery. Ground isn't that covered. But just did 5 miles. Yesterday 3, today 5. Tomorrow we're doubling that to 10. And then Sunday, doubling that to 20. Hopefully. Hopefully everything goes well. We'll see. It's in the 20s. It's supposed to be only get colder this weekend. So that's another great concern. But hey, whatever. Anyways, today the event guide came out. Course maps kind of leaked early. So went through those kind of already. But the event guide came out, nothing too crazy. Obviously it's the 30th anniversary of the marathon, a lot around that. I think one of my favorite things, which I'll go over some, important things in the event guide. I'm not going to do a deep dive. That is for much more prominent YouTubers than I, such as, Coach HJ, Heather on YouTube, Kristen running a makeup, those people, much better at those deep dives than I am. But I do want to go over some, relatively important things from the event guide. Other than that, I think that is going to do it for today, and we'll check in with you after 10 miles tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Well, hello friends, welcome back. Like I said, I wanted to go through a few things on the event guide for marathon weekend that I think are important. Not doing a full breakdown, all that fun stuff, but just a few things. As we all know, it is the 30th anniversary of marathon weekend, and they're looking back on the 30-year history of the weekend. One fun thing I want to point out on the front page, which is, Farron Kelly welcoming everybody to the event and all that stuff, but he used a photo back from the 90s when he was just starting out with Disney and entertainment. So I thought that was kind of cool that he did that. But otherwise, we go into the digital expo. Not a whole lot here. One thing I did want to point out is in this Run Disney showcase, I think it was kind of cool. They have a bunch of stuff from the past. So like a bunch of videos from past weekends, dating back to like 2016, back from the 20th anniversary, metal design, stuff like that. I think that's kind of cool. And then just some general reminders in here, like photo passes where you can get those codes for the for your photo pass photos after the race. Outside of that, so not a whole lot. This is, kind of going back here, just the sponsors and stuff. They're doing that discount on water parks again. I'm not sure what weather will be like in January, so you never know if water parks will even be feasible. But anyways, moving on to the real fun stuff in the weekend events portion. And this is where you get all your race information for each race. Obviously, you have your expo, which is first. But again, a reminder, virtual queue is going to be in effect for this weekend. Only for the first day of the expo. Sign-up time is 8:30. You have to be within 45 miles of Walt Disney World in order to jump in that queue. I know from Wine and Dine, I know later in the day when the expo is, pretty relatively quiet. Usually the rush is right away to about lunchtime. But after that, kind of dies down. And I know later in the day, they were letting people in even without the virtual queue on that first day. So we'll see how things go. I expect things to be a bit busier given the 1 anniversary, or 2, this is a bigger race weekend than Wine and Dine. So while the virtual queue did go well relatively for Wine and Dine, I think things will be a little bit different. I don't want to say worse, but could be for this race weekend. Also, obviously, if you have not signed your forms or whatever online, do that. Your check-in pass is
they say will be available by December 31st. That info is here as well. Then you have like the event info stuff. So your expo transportation from resorts will begin at 9:30 on that first day, 11:30 on Thursday, 9:30 Friday, and 10:30 on Saturday. And then obviously back to your resorts as well. Map of the facilities. Merchandise will of course be again in the arena. Your race expo type stuff in the Visa Athletic Center, and then the State Farm Fieldhouse will be bib pickup. For Dopey, this will be bib and shirt pickup. For everybody else, your race shirt pickup will be in the Visa Athletic Center. That I think, and just kind of a note, I don't know, given that they've kind of been doing a look back, obviously on this weekend, they always have the Run Disney booth in the field house here, but I'm wondering if they maybe have some throwback items they're going to bring out for the Run Disney showcase area, because that would be kind of cool to see if they do that. So I will be checking that out, of course. Outside of that, not a whole lot expo wise to talk about. Going back, if I click the right thing, maybe not. Okay, there we go. Courses. Now your 5K is relatively similar to what we have done in the past here. You obviously start in the parking lot, run out, backstage, World Showcase. Last year you did go around France, backstage by Morocco, around France through the Ratatouille area, and then back out. This year you're not. You'll just be going straight through the front of France, out by the Skyliner, back in, backstage, and out towards the finish. Nothing too crazy, pretty relatively standard 5K for Disney. Staging for the 5K and 10K is the same. Obviously, if we can zoom in here, the start groups are in the parking lot in the pink here, parking off in the gray. You still will, if you're coming by bus, you will be dropped off using security, like we have been for the past few weekends now. Finish area all the same, and bus pickup on the other side there. Then yeah, just going over again, 5K, 10K will be the same. Start groups in that pink area. This is the finisher chute. You have medals, water, post-race snacks, all that stuff. So moving along, transportation, just want to touch on that. Buses will start running at 3 a.m. To 5 a.m. it says for the start. Obviously, I believe they want you on the bus at least by 4:30 or something like that. I don't know if it says in here. But anyways, then afterwards, buses will run until 8:30. No monorail for 5K or 10K. But there will be for the half and full, but we'll get into that in a second here. And 10K, just going to go over the course real quick because the staging area is basically the same course. Course is a little different from 2022. In 2022, we did go out to Hollywood Studios and back. This year, we're going back to like a 2019 type 10K course. This is basically what we ran in 2019, out by the boardwalk, beach club, yacht club, and back into Epcot and to the finish. Obviously some roadway miles early for the first mile. Basically 2 miles are all roads before you get into Epcot. And so there's that. But overall, 10K course. This one isn't bad, having run that one. And then on to the half. The half is probably basically the most standard. I don't think this half course has changed since I've started running the half, which my first Disney half was 2016. And this one has yet to change for me. I mean, obviously some slight differences, but overall very, very much the same. Inside Magic Kingdom, you do go in front of Mine Train last year, the half course went behind Mine Train past Little Mermaid and stuff like that, and then out through Frontierland. So that's a slight change, but that kind of varies year to year. That kind of just where they need to get them extra distance in. That then in Epcot, your finish will be same as last year. Come through by Figment and the land in that area, out towards the front, towards kind of the World Showcase area, just before you would go over that bridge, and then out by Connections Creations through the middle of that, and then behind Mission Space, the Wonders of Life Pavilion, and underneath the Guardians Bridge there to the finish. Going into the staging. Staging is pretty, again, standard. If we can blow this up here a little bit. The pink that's for, not for us, but that's for the 5K, 10K. This is just this kind of your parking and whatnot stuff. This is for the whole weekend. If we go here, this is what I want. Staging half, here we go. So your walkout is the same, the pink is your walkout. Corrals A through F, so 5 of them again, or take that back, 6 of them, can't count. 6 of those, obviously porta potties out there where it says restrooms. Not much different there. Okay, there is a slight change to that come marathon morning, which we will get into right now. And here is that course. So let's go over the course first. I want to zoom in on this because there are some relatively interesting changes here. If we can, so your start is basically the same as it has been the last couple years. You're going to start going just on the roadway and then come back into Epcot, except instead of going back behind the land and stuff like that and coming in by Figment, they do have us coming in kind of the front and around Spaceship Earth before going back out onto the road. Then mile 4 will be just where the start, just past the start again. Then you're out onto the roadway towards Magic Kingdom, and then up into Magic Kingdom. That all the way basically once you hit on the road after Epcot up to Magic Kingdom is all basically the same. Not much difference there. The change comes once you get into Magic Kingdom, and that one, now last year for the marathon you went in front of Mine Train. This year you go around, behind it, around it. Again, that's really how wherever they need to make up some distance, they kind of flip that. The interesting change though that I think is you go through Adventureland this year. So instead of going past Country Bears, you go underneath and through that like shortcut area in Frontierland to Adventureland. So then you come in and then go around through Adventureland, past Pirates, back into Frontierland. Then you do that hairpin turn by Big Thunder, which we have done in the past, and then come back around Splash and out backstage. So that's kind of an interesting change. In my now 6 Disney marathons, this is the first time I've ever run through Adventureland. So that will be interesting to see how that works. Kind of a lot of twisting and turning through Magic Kingdom. Once you leave, you go through Cone Alley per usual, nothing crazy there. And that's where you go into towards Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, the inside of that is basically the same as 2022. Mile 17 will be in Animal Kingdom. You go past Everest. Hopefully that is open and running for this race weekend. Then you come out and then you're on that slog of roadway on your way to Blizzard Beach, which you don't go in Blizzard Beach again, just like 2022, you're going through the parking lot because they love to torture us. Especially at mile 21, which is, when everybody's hitting that wall or, struggling. But anyways, the big question here is Blizzard Beach is scheduled to be open that day. So it will be interesting to see how they operate that. Maybe they, people have to take buses to Blizzard Beach that day and then they drop them off in the, where the golf course is, and then you walk from there or something. But because we're running through that whole parking lot and through the bus drop-off area, so it's kind of, I don't really know how they would also then have buses come in there. So there's got to be a back way, or they're going to modify hours to Blizzard Beach or something. I don't know, but we are running through that parking lot, and that park is scheduled to be open that day as of right now, 10 to 5. So we'll be interested to see how they handle that. You know, maybe they're just hoping the weather is bad or not bad, but cold enough where the park won't be open in general, because sometimes that is the case. But we'll see. Studios, then after Blizzard Beach, you go to the studios. Studios is essentially the same in and out. A little slight change. Instead of coming right past Tower of Terror here, you do go through that phantasmic entryway instead. So kind of different. Usually you come in and you go right next to Tower of Terror. This year we are not, but not it's basically the same kind of in and out of studios. Then you go on the path towards the boardwalk. You run on the boardwalk and then back into Epcot, and that is your finishing area. Finish your last mile 25 in World Showcase. You're almost there, out towards the finish, which again you'll finish. You'll go through that Connections Creations path, and then out behind Mission Space, Wonders, Guardians, that kind of stuff to the finish. So that's mostly pretty standard. Nothing too crazy there. Going into the one thing and the staging that's a slightly different, if we notice here. Again, A through F for corrals, except on the half day they have E and F on the opposite side of the roadway, and then for marathon day they only have F on the opposite side of the road day. So they kind of maneuvered that a little bit. But overall, essentially for the half and the full, the same. You still have that same walkout, start is on the same road. They probably do that because you do run on that roadway, so they're probably going to move F pretty quickly after they start moving these earlier corrals up. So they'll move F onto that road to get people moving, because the A group is going to come through pretty quickly. And then that's about it. Not a whole lot. Again, for transportation wise, again, I didn't go over this for the half, but they should be the same for the half and the full. Marathon morning, 2:30 bus pickup time to 4:30. Monorail will start running at 2:30. You can take that. That is not going to be available for 5K and 10K, just half and full if you are staying at a Magic Kingdom resort. So there is that. The monorail to the Magic Kingdom will be open at 4:30 for spectating. That is usually taking place. However, the one thing that I did want to mention, they didn't put Magic Kingdom spectating in the spectating viewing tips, which was interesting, but I think that's probably just a copy and paste, and they just forgot to put that in there, because runDisney does do that at times. The guide kind of gets incomplete. They also don't mention, the boardwalk is a spectating area, but that's always a big spectating area, stuff like that. So, and then obviously once the parks are open, whether it be Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot at the finish, those parks are usually open kind of by the time runners are coming through there. And so that's always a big spectating area for people. Obviously you need a park ticket and reservation for those parks, but just something to keep in mind for spectating. I think that is mostly, I did want to touch on, even though I am not running it, I know obviously some people are, Castaway Key Challenge information. This is the map for that. This is the first time we have seen this map. I've heard from past runners of this, the course did change a bit. Start and finish is in a slightly different spot, and then you do kind of a further out and back than you have in previous years. Obviously, this is the first time this is back since I think 2019, maybe 2020, I don't know. It's been a few years, obviously, since this has been run. But obviously, if you are on that cruise, you'll have more information on that. The race start is at 7 a.m. for that. Otherwise, I don't think there's a whole lot else. Obviously, you have costume guidelines. They have stuff for obviously the flag designations for if race day, if there's weather issues. You have finisher certificates will be available after the race. But otherwise, not a whole lot else to mention. I just saw before I started recording this that virtual medals have started going out. So shirt designs have been coming, and then they're basically the colors of the race logos. So like the blue of the marathon logo is the race shirt color for the marathon. The orange of the Goofy logo, it's an orange shirt, that kind of thing. So there's that. But I think that is it. Just a relatively quick overview of things to come. It's a big, we are currently, today I finished up day 2 of my Dopey simulation, 5 miles. So I'm 8 miles into 38 miles for this weekend, 10 tomorrow, 20 on Sunday. So hopefully that all goes well, but we'll check in with you tomorrow for that 10 miler. We'll see you then.
Well, hello, welcome back. Happy Saturday, December 17th. 10 miles done. Day 3 of the Dopey sim. It's cold, flurrying outside. So, whatever. But we got it done, 10 miles. Feel pretty good, which is a good thing for going into tomorrow. Really don't know how tomorrow's gonna go, so we'll see. But overall, pretty good. Pleased with where things are right now. My neighbor is leaf blowing the snow off his driveway, so I better go before I get closer to that. So anyways, we'll see you tomorrow for hopefully 20 miles. Well, hello friends. Wasn't exactly the run I had anticipated, I suppose. Just over 14 miles, 14.2. It's freezing outside, so much so that my hydration pack is frozen and I can no longer use it. So then I noticed that around mile 3 and quickly had to change my plan and start doing loops around my neighborhood just so I had easy access to my house so I could get something to drink. And that's just not fun. So it's the whole thing. It probably the feels like temperature is probably like 15 degrees. There's a decent wind, so that's not great. And it's only gonna get colder this week. Like Christmas, the high is like 15 just for the temperature. Like this is just whatever. But anyways, so due to my lack of hydration because of this not working, I called it because I was starting to cramp because of obviously lack of hydration. But so this is supposed to be peak week, which it was. I mean, I did 4 days in a row of training. Just not quite the high mileage I had hoped. So I'm probably a bit undertrained going into Dopey. But at the same time, mentally I know I can do it. Physically I should be fine. But it is what it is at this point. Can't make up miles, and we've got roughly, 3 weeks from today is marathon day, So we got 2 weeks of training left. I really don't know what this week is going to look like, given that the temperatures are supposed to be so bad. Obviously nothing tomorrow, probably nothing Tuesday either, so whatever. Anyways, enough of my rambling. It's too cold. I'm gonna go inside and warm up and hydrate. So we'll check in with you soon. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully we'll see you at Marathon Weekend.